Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, B-Farm, thinking right out here in my lab. And you know, in the book, we doing my philosophy. We getting life lessons at its best. This is a philosophy that you can practice and guaranteed to better yourself. I did it. It worked, so I'm giving it to you. Today we're going to talk about, it's going to be the concept of action and fate in my philosophy and it's based on WRIGHT. Y'all know that's karma, but let's talk about it. Let's go. Writers of 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. See where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I asked the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do. For you, I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous, avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep, I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my be true. Let's talk about this thing, Irie, excuse me, right thinkers, P-Funk philosophy on the concept of action and the faith in my philosophy. I have much faith and belief in this philosophy. Why? Once you manifest, then that place, that faith becomes into what? Reality, knowing. So let's talk about action. I read. You see the I right here? I read means to do something, something done. And the Karmatic philosophy is all about what? Action and reaction, aka cause and effect. What you do leads to what happens to you. If what you do is respectable and commendable and on point, rewards and blessings will come to you. If what you do is selfish, egotistical, and wrong, you will be dealt with accordingly. That's on your doings. We get into the wind of the heart lesson coming up. But let's talk about this. So, the Maat philosophy, aka right thinking philosophy, everything that represents Maat, right thinking represents same thing. I just changed the name because it's live. Maat philosophy is based, listen, on a concept of what? Action, aka IRE. You have to do something to get something. If you don't take a step toward God, God can't take a step towards you. Think about that. And it's all in the action. And your actions are called IRE. One's actions leave impressions of the unconscious mind, and these emerge when later, as we know them to be, desires, which impel your personality to certain situations. We call it entanglements or fetters. And due to your egoness, you're going to do things. And this concept is illustrated most succinctly in this teaching I'm about to give you right now by the old teacher, instructor, my man Murikara, in the Kemetic ancient system of the god Asar, the Assyrian mythology. Okay, now it's all about Asar served the function of what? The administrator of Maya in the physical plane. The god based their decisions about one's fate by means of examining one's record, aka your heart, your life, how you live, and as a human being. Okay, that's the game we got to play as humans to get to the next level. We have to pass the phase of human beings and become enlightened beings to go back home. But this record is turned karma out of India. In India and Ari in Egypt. We know what it is. We had a name for it. Again, the same thing, call something different. That don't change what it is. That's my point. In India, the Vedas, all them same philosophy as the Egyptians. Okay. But now in the Indian history, the word karma appears in the Vedic tradition. You got the Vedas, the Upanishads, those are all Indian based religious concepts. And with the meaning of what? The act of sacrifice. To them, karma is you sacrificing something to get something returned. Okay, that's why everybody get the idea they got human sacrifice to get something. No, sacrifice something that you desire, that you want, that you will not do for sacrifice for something better, faster, giving up eating for a few hours. These are things that you can control. They do it for that purpose. That's self-discipline. Just gave that lesson too. But it's the act of sacrifice in what? In most rituals. Okay? Something gotta be sacrificed. The guy who's gonna sacrifice his son. For what? For what? To show his obedience to God. That makes no sense. Sorry. Here we go, my boys again. In the Upanishadic traditions, and they pattern themselves after the Egyptians, and they're very smart people, the word takes on a more expanded and profound meaning that it has come to represent in modern times as the residue or mental impressions of your actions performed by an unenlightened person. An ignorant person will do the wrong thing most of the time. Okay? And this residue that remains from the person even after death. Why? Due to that person's desires to experience what? More pleasures of the flesh. So they want to come back here again and have another life, another crack at it. Okay, to get more pleasure, to have more fun, but not knowing that conscience won't make it. It'll be a new spirit and a new conscience. You won't remember you here being here last time. Okay, that's why the incarnation wipes the memory clean. You don't remember. All right. So from the performance, from your performance and the actions, when? Because of spiritual ignorance, you're going to do ignorant things, bad things, wrong things, selfish things that you like. And since the mystical philosophy maintains what? That happiness can only come from self-knowledge. Ignorant people look for it, and they'll take it every time it makes them feel good, they'll take it. When they don't like it, they don't want that no more. They want what makes them feel good. Okay, that's selective. That's not good. But the only happiness can come from is you obtaining self-knowledge, aka cosmic or divine consciousness, being aware, coming, waking up to who, know who you are, and not from worldly pursuits or egotistic actions will inevitably lead you to more life disappointments because of the ego. It's going to crave more pleasures, and when it don't get it, it won't be happy. And if not in this lifetime, and even in the future ones. Why? Because that desire to have to do haven't been craved, and the ego will always crave it, but it won't be the same. Again, it won't be the same consciousness. That's the difference. However, this is not realized by those ignorant people. Why? Because when some actions are performed, they seem to give them the desired result. You want to have a pleasure encounter? The end game is the orgasm. Okay. When you do that, then what? You got what you wanted. Now what? See, again. But this then leads you to start developing what? That craving. Junkies crave getting high. Alcoholics crave getting drunk. Everybody got a craving. That's called lack of self-discipline with something addictive that you can't stop doing that you know is wrong. That's not a good predicament to be in. And without self discipline, you're going to find yourself in that predicament over and over again. Like the Ouroboros, the serpent bite his tail, keep doing the same thing over and over again, and ain't going to get no different result. We know that. But it's craving in your personality as people now become dependent on the results of their actions to experience what? Think that makes them happy. And at the moment, it do. Makes them feel good for the moment. But, or as it referred to in right thing philosophy, the yoga, is the fruits of that action. If your actions aren't good, the fruit's not going to be good either. The person feels and believe that if they can engage in this kind of action, what again and again, that's why people get high to get that smoke. When I first smoked that pipe 47 years ago, that high, that experience, you want that. You want that. And I seen people when I couldn't realize, my man, you might want to stop, get off that merry-go-round. Why? It's going nowhere. Okay, I learned that. So then I started watching people. That thing is unbelievable. When people can't control themselves, it gets ugly. Man, oh man. Okay, a person that's addicted, woo, what they won't do to get that next high. That's what you start craving, your pleasures of the flesh or for things to happen. That's what the ego does. It just keep pushing you to do what? More, get what? More. Okay, no matter how much you get, you want more. All right. So they will be happier, a happier person, they think. Or at least they try to derive that same or more pleasurable feeling. Like getting high. The first time you smoke that pipe, it's unbelievable. After that, you chasing that feeling and it's never gonna happen again. It's a one-shot deal. Okay? When it comes to that kind of thing. Okay. But thus, they still what strive and do everything they could to perform those same actions that seem to bring them pleasures again over and over as much as possible. And they'll strive to avoid what? The consequences. When you don't want to be responsible for your actions, you should not commit the act. Why? Because you're going to be responsible. Not wanting to be ain't going to stop it. If you do it, you're responsible. Those are consequences of one's actions. We teach you that. And they will now develop a dislike for those actions, okay, or situations. But that's just because the ego said, I don't like that. So you ain't gonna do that. The ego said, I like that, so you're gonna do that. If liking that is a drug, alcohol, or relationship, outside relationship, those are things you're going to do. Why? Because you're weak and you have no discipline. But and you put yourself in situations which they sometimes will perceive as being, or they don't perceive it as being an obstacle for the experiences of pleasure, but many times their own actions to recapture those pleasures that they experienced previously is now similar to situations that do not bring them the pleasure that they want due to many obstacles that develop in their life. It ain't gonna be the same thing. You got to learn things change. Okay, the gravy train gonna run out. If it's a good thing, oh, it's going to run out. If it's done wrong, it will run out. However, people simply make what personally in their mind excuses to do wrong. Make it justified in your mind so you don't get it. Yeah, okay, but until what? It's time to pay the price. You dance to the music, oh, you got to pay the price, but nobody dances for free. Okay, you want to dance with the devil? It's going to cost you a fee. Trust me. But for those, watch this, for these times, they make excuses for these times and or disappointments or the frustrations and what? They will continue on with the next pursuit that they think is going to make them happy. Okay, the next high, that next girl, the next situation, okay? And after another problem is that one they cannot pursue that which gives pleasure on a continuous basis. And another problem is for them is that they tend to pursue that which only gives them pleasures on a continuous basis. If it's sex, they want to have sex every day. If it's drugs, they want to do drugs every day. Simple, they're addicted and they got to have it. But this is not true happiness. No, it's momentary satisfaction for an urgent desire that ain't going to lead to nowhere and it's going to continue. So, knowing that true happiness, I'm going to get that lesson coming up, is defined as an experience of the state of enlightenment whereby one experiences joy all at the same time in all conditions and circumstances. We call it Hotep. When you at peace with yourself and you're doing the thing that you're supposed to do, your life is but a stream. It's just flowing merrily and just enjoy the ride. Just enjoy the ride. Trust me, when things are going good, don't push it, don't question it, just enjoy the ride. That's what it's for. For those who understand, just go with the flow, my friend. Like Bruce said, be water. Flow with it. And this means what? That true happiness, again, I've been trying to tell that for the longest, is not a byproduct of or dependent on doing some activity or acquiring some object or in a situation, but rather it is a state of being. It is unaffected by any life situations or circumstances in your physical world. It is a person's true essence. Like hammer, can't touch it, all right, with nonsense. But when an enlightened person, there we go, performs actions, they are not doing it. Why? Because they're happy. They're not doing it to become happy as a result. No. If I do something for you, it don't give me pleasure or pain. If it bothers me, I may not do it. If pleasure's okay, but I don't look, that don't pleasure me. If you need something, I got it, you can get it. Leave it right there. I'm good. Now, but because it is the right action, or I call it the right thing to do, I love doing the right thing, that they are being what? Guided to do by their higher self, connected to the divine self. Thus, in effect, they are performing divine, aka godly works. To do something for somebody without expecting something in return, that's godly. Community workers, volunteers, that's godly work. You helping somebody else without wanting nothing in return. God don't ask you for nothing. Thus, now karma impels a person to what? Reincarnate. Why reincarnate? In order to what? Attempt to fulfill their desires that they left over in the previous life. Okay? Karma is that cycle of what? Birth and death, and birth continuously in life until the lesson that you need to learn while you're born in that life for is learn what's that? Self-knowledge. Know thyself, of the illusions, of desires, of worldly attainment and actions. Thus, karma is not your fate, but the tendency that a person sets up in their deep unconsciousness to what? Like or dislike, and desire or repudiate. This duality is what keeps your mind flowing from adversity to prosperity, that roller coaster up and down, or from pleasure to pain situations without really achieving what? Resolution or peace of mind indefinitely. It's always haphazard. It's always now, then again, hit now, then again. You don't want that. You want consistency, flatline. The same philosophy of we call residue of action that remains in the mind of a person, your deep unconscious level, it may be seen in the Commission teachings of Murakara. Many people think of what? This philosophy of karma as a concept that originated in India. Au contraire, mon frere. Watch this. We're about to prove the statement. You can't make a statement and don't back it up. That makes no sense. Back up what you said. I'm about to put it to use right now. Now, in the committed is very much harmful. Excuse me. Most people think philosophy karma come out of India. Nope. But the following text will show it's a concept that was well understood in Kemet and very much in harmony with what is today referred to as karma. In the ancient Egyptian word for karma was iri. Okay, it means action. You reap what you sow. Good action, good result. Bad action, bad result. Which attaches what? To a person that leads them to their fate. Your fate is decided by you, even beyond death. Why? This is the same understanding that they did in the Hindu philosophy, the Commission's teachings of Murakara, and the Pert Imharut. That's my book right there. It illuminates this teaching in detail, highlighted by this text by my man Muata Ashby, my teacher. It says, the court that judges the wretch. Know who the court is? The judges, okay? You know how many judges you got that's sitting on the panel up here, on the jury panel? 12. You know what they represent? The 12 cranial nerves in the brain. Ooh, I just got some new information. When I gave this lesson a few times, I gave it, I didn't see it that way, but it makes all the sense in the world now. I understand it from a symbolical, philosophical point of view. I missed that one. I just learned something about that, so when I get to that, I got something to add to that. All right, but it says, in the court that judges the wretch, that's those who are going to fail judgment day. And you're going to be the one who's going to condemn yourself. Okay, understand that. But you know, watch this, you yourself know that they are not lenient. If you practice the Maat philosophy, you play by the rules, you will know these things. Okay, but on the day of your judgment, when they judging the miserable, which most of us who are when we get there, in the hour of doing their task, it's going to be painful when what? When the accuser, you, has knowledge and did not use it. Okay? That's the old phrase, better than have it, don't need it, than need it and don't have it. At judgment day, you need self-knowledge. If you ain't got it, you got a problem. And do not trust or think the length of years is going to make a difference. Why? Because to them, they view your lifetime, which may be 80, 90 years, some 100, as million hour. Why? Because eternity don't run by clock. Physical time and space is on time. Eternity, not. That's why God's time ain't our time. I get that concept. I hope y'all do. Y'all, this in God's time. God ain't got no damn time. He ain't on the clock. Y'all are. Okay. But when a man remains over after death, he's in that astral plane waiting for his judgment. And once it happens, what is he being judged by? Your heart. Why? Because I read everything, your intentions realized in the heart. And his or her I read, aka deeds in action in life, are what will be set beside him as a treasure. When your time of death, in your time of judgment, you're going to get a visit from Karma. One last time. What? She going to give you all your stuff. Right then and there. Bam. So if you got luggage, you got baggage, you got history, all this, but if you got luggage, unsolved issues, your heart going to be heavy. It's not good to have a heavy heart. Not at judgment day. Your heart heavy at judgment day, party's over for you, okay? Why? Because you are judged by your deeds, your actions, and they all are set beside you at judgment day. And for your heart, got to take on that extra luggage, guaranteed it will not make the cut with Maya's feather. So, and being yonder lasts forever. When God punished, he punished forever. I'll tell you the story about earth, heaven and earth. Gab and Newt. They loved each other. There was no love. They make love every chance they got. They snuck off and did their thing. God said, I can't do what I need to do with heaven and earth all the time, doing the wild thing. Shu, handle that. Shu was air. At one time, was nothing between heaven and earth. Shu pushed Newt up to heaven, stayed on the chute, kept Gab to the ground. Now, only thing they can do is look down and gaze up at each other forever. That's the punishment that God gives out. So I'm gonna make that known. He don't care who you are. He's just a kid. He still punishes them forever. Okay, he don't give a damn. Well, you gotta be forgiven. No, you don't. You hand down the punishment accordingly and move on. Well, I ain't got no regret. I whipped my son ass in third grade. Last time I put my hands on my son, and I told him then, you gotta stop this, dog. Why? This ain't gonna work out for you. I don't like doing it, but you make me do it, I'm gonna whoop your ass. Take that out the program, we'll be fine. He did that. That's what I'm saying. Discipline. You got to make those decisions in life to do what's right for yourself. You want to keep getting butt whipping? Keep doing stuff that I don't accommodate or I won't suspect or have you do. I need you to do what I need you to do. You can't do what you want to do. Don't work that way. In the household around like that, that's called discipline. Now, he's a disciplined young man. Why? I gave it to him at a young age to let him know this ain't going to be run the way you want to if it's not going to be right. He's been doing it right ever since. Moving on. But that's a life lesson that we all can learn from. And a fool, most of y'all are, who what? Who does what they reprove, what they know is wrong. That's a fool. I'll be the fool for you. Yeah, yeah. When you willingly do wrong, you're being a fool. You playing the fool's game. Been there, done that too. Got the scars to prove. But he who reaches, this is what I'm trying to get my right things right here. This I'm taking it home. He who reaches them without having done wrong. My mother-in-law, perfect example. She said she never cussed nobody out. She don't get belligerent like that. I said, that's Mayat. Who Mayat? Mayat is principles that what you just said, you carry yourself by. You ain't that kind of person to do that. God will bless you for that action, that philosophical concept that you live by. It will be respected by those who really paying attention to what you're doing. That's your higher self. And when you reach him without doing wrong, what happened? You now will exist with and like the gods and free to stride the world of the Lord forever, knowing who you are. Imagine going to eternity with your identity intact, your consciousness of who you are. So no matter whatever, whoever you encounter, when I say that, I see you on the other side. Not if you didn't get enlightened. Not if you didn't live right. No, no. Okay? Let me wrap it up for you. And this is the instruction from Makara from ancient Egypt. The writings of Makara, it confirms what? That we've been telling you of the subtleness and an aspect of action, which follows one even after death. The residue, they call it, is what judged, and your destiny is administered thereby. You judge by your actions yourself. But this signifies that every person is the author of his or her own fate and destiny. Of course, in essence, karma fortunes. This teaching also conveys that the relativity of what time and space as the judges exist in a different plane. I told you, eternity, don't got no time on that, no clock there. That they then the worldly physical state and the passage of time is different for them. Again, wrapping it up. Appreciate you tuning in, taking it home. Thus, this passage also contains a reference which shows you a comprehension of what the relativity of what time in different planes of existence, much like the Hindu metaphysics about their concept of time, with the guys living outside of the time or eternity. We call it infinity. There's no time, there's no clock. Saturn controls time, Cronus, okay? But the idea is that on the path of enlightenment, these are things that you have to understand and do for yourself. It's all up to every individual. I'm going to say, if it's 9 billion people, there's 9 billion ways to get to God. Why? Because the lessons is right here to learn for every individual. Hope you enjoy the lesson. I'll be back with more. You know I got to go right now, but in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100, me, 100 miles a day. So I know that my right thinkers who understand WRIGHT and the concept of action and fate in my philosophy have passed away. I'll be back.